So I had the newspaper delivered to me today, and I don't have a subscription. I think it might have been either some kind of accident or maybe it's sample day or something because there was somebody else who had a paper too, and I don't think anyone on my floor gets delivered the newspaper. So I think it was some kind of a sample day, or maybe the person had the wrong building. But
Okay.
I think that most likely it was sample day, and I wanted to make a video about it because I find it kind of interesting because I've never had a newspaper subscription in my life. It's 20 the year is 2018 and I'm 32 years old, and I've never had a newspaper subscription. I've never had the paper delivered to me on a regular basis.
Even at your parents' house?
No, we never had the newspaper. So uh it's kind of an uncommon experience for me, and it may be the last time it happens. I think I've had the paper delivered to me by accident before, but it doesn't happen very much. And considering how the newspaper business is doing, I doubt this is probably going to be the last time. But I wanted to make this video because it's kind of a video about anachronistic things, like things that are going out of that are becoming things of the past, like giant department stores like
Yep.
Sears and J.C. Penney. Those are going by the wayside because of fucking Amazon, and the USPS is going under pretty much for the same reason. The combination of Amazon and the fact that they can't live up to Amazon's expectations, and also because they kind of they don't do a very good job of enticing people to become employees. They kind of just throw people into it, and it kind of sucks. And then taxis, uh, giving going you know giving way to like Uber and Lyft,
So,
even though taxis are probably like little they're more official. It's kind of better to be driven around by a professional instead of a stranger that you contacted on the internet.
there's a couple things there that I thought I might try and get on here.
Okay, make sure to speak clearly because the microphone's actually pointed that way.
I'm up close and personal with it now, and I'm going to enunciate so we can hear it.
Okay.
So, with the city, I believe there's either 5 or 6 medallions, and medallions are what taxi companies need to operate. It's kind of like an exclusivity of franchise with the city. And that was way back 100 and some years ago when that rule was erected. And I think that if those taxis could give people living wages and are decent and safer and regulated, that's good. Um, I actually used a taxi last month, and I didn't really use one much before.
Yeah, like when you were really wanted to get the hell out of somewhere.
Yeah, it was worth it. But then they only took cash, which was kind of crazy. They told me on the phone they took credit card, and it was interesting to
It's a
get.
good thing you had cash.
Yep, this newspaper we're going to look at, it's an employee-owned newspaper. It's been around since 1886.
And it's incredibly thin. I mean, this is thin. This is like nothing like it was when I was a kid. And it is today's newspaper. But the newspapers, they're on the way out too, and it's partly because of the internet. But I would also argue it's partly because of the, the shitty state of journalism in the year 2018. When I just don't trust my local news sources to really give a professional, non-biased, all of the facts included.
Hey, those rich guys deserve a tax break. No, I'm just kidding. But that's what a lot of it is about,
Well,
where they shuffle tax money and all that.
well, and look at this. This is a perfect example right here on the front page. Loyalty and unease in Trump's Midwest, and you start reading the article, and it says right here, after 8 years of displeasure with the presidency of Barack Obama and faced with a choice between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, Dennis Schnicke of Austin, Minnesota, didn't have to think hard about about how he would vote. See, look, they say choice between Trump and Hillary Clinton. They don't even mention third parties.
Yep.
They don't even mention it. And that like that and I was gonna read this paper because I got it, and it's like, well, I might as well go to McDonald's and read it since I got it for free. And right on the front page, there was already something that pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's like, how do they expect me to read the paper and like enjoy it and want to get the shit delivered to me when you don't even represent everybody on the very first page? Don't even mention third parties. You're just a whitewash. You're just local, unprofessional. Not to say that the national corporate news is any better, but you guys just take your cues from them and you get all of your news from the Associated Press. And I just don't think that I don't think you guys are worth getting on my doorstep every day. And I mean, I'm kind of, for aesthetic reasons and for historical reasons, I'm not thrilled that a lot of these things are going by the wayside. But at the same time, brick and mortar stores, the post office, taxis, newspapers, all of those things, as much as I would like to see you stay, you guys haven't risen up to the occasion. You haven't risen up to the challenge of, and I see you're getting that book, but that's the thing. It's not that they're so much that they made themselves obsolete.
Yeah. It was self-inflicted.
I mean, the world is changing and I get that, but they're just as much to blame as anyone else for their own downfall. So, but anyway, I just thought I wanted to make this video because I am going to keep this paper for posterity. I'm actually going to put it back in the bag and I'm going to wrap it back up.
I grew up with the paper every day, and my
And
parents would always just any more money they could throw at these guys for whatever they would.
I have bought newspapers before. I remember one day I was working. This was years ago on my day off. I stopped at a. I was on my way to a restaurant to get something to eat, and I stopped at Walgreens and I actually bought a copy of the newspaper. Like that's like probably the only time I've ever done that. But I didn't have anything to read. I was riding my bike to somewhere like to a fast food place. I was riding my bike. I didn't happen to have a book with me, and I wanted something to read, so I just got a copy of the newspaper. And I think that was the one and only time I ever bought a newspaper.
Yeah, I don't have my own subscription, and I never bought one. So
So, how much do they cost now? Does it say?
I don't know. 150 should say it on the front.
$1. $1. My dad said something kind of clever today. I was showing him this, and he said that you should be able to you should get a discount for only getting certain sections delivered to you. And I said to him, well, pretty much the only section I'd be interested in would be the comics.
Yeah.
The funny pages. That would literally be the only. I would pay maybe a dime or a quarter to get those delivered to me, but nothing else. None of this crap. None of this like fake journalism. But anyway, just wanted to make a video about all that because it was kind of a poignant moment when I saw this at my doorstep, and I just thought of days gone by and the way things used to be and the way we were, and you can't go back again as time goes by and all that sentimental crap. So thanks for listening.